won't necessarily do all that much against a, against a Malphite who is just going to ignore you with his unstoppable onslaught. And of course, if Jane flash skill buttons you, there's not really much you can do there about that. So we're gonna see if Yado can find something onto Jane, but I mean that would involve starting the seismic shove, so probably not.
I mean, that's 2 wards dropped down, which I feel like is a bit unnecessary from Cerberus, considering OP had already put 1 ward down. I do, though, want to talk about the first 5 to 10 minutes of the game, because I see a Syndra. Surely the plan for Team Flash has to be to try to get this Syndra unlocked, either to play around the Syndra and get some kills for Jane, or to be able to help Jane to push in this mid lane and then presumably roam down towards the bottom lane to get some kills for pudding or Sora.
Okay, I'm being a little bit careful. Yeah, I definitely think playing around this mid jungle duo is actually really good. Again, it's not going to be quite as free and quite as menacing as it has been in the past, but it definitely can hold there as we find a decent engage.
Very good dredge line, but very nice turnaround. Artemis though finding a lot of damage, and Sora doesn't have anything else here. Pudding is just getting run down. Heal has been used, and now Artemis is the one who is very low. So I think overall, Team Flash are actually coming out of that trade best.
Yeah, Team Flash came out of that pretty damn well. It looked really good with the trade of support health onto ADC health, but in the end, Artemis had a cleanse, not a heal. So Pudding does come out on top here, and this is going to keep going on.
Oh, scatter the wheat doesn't quite land.
Yeah, it doesn't quite land. Flash trying to try and crash this wave in very aggressively so they can cheat a recall and pick up something nice for Pudding. Maybe a call, get things going and try and race ahead. Good little bit of damage down, but it's not going to commit to too much. Sora's desperately trying to make this crash. And with the Lover's Recall, doesn't even miss a beat on tempo. Just plays really nice.
I'm just wondering if it would have been better for Sora to start the back so that Pudding could have got the wave to crash, because that way OP can't really step up to the wave as much because he can just get bursted down by Pudding.
I would say the real benefit to making Sora do it is that you have the extended E range to get to dash back faster, so you can push it a little bit more aggressively, a little bit longer. As we see, Jane has had pretty good push, pretty good priority in this mid wave rather, which has given Fook a lot of creative potential. Jane shouldn't get this. Okay, good seismic shove. And yeah, Jane sitting pretty happy, bullying out this lane as well as he can on the Syndra, and slowly scaling up, picking up those stats. We want to see those shots.
I wish I could get a replay of that mid lane trade, because I feel like with how little mana Yado had, having expended all of the mana for the seismic shove, maybe Jane could have just flashed over it, auto-queued, got the kill onto Yado, or maybe just too aggressive of a play.
I would have to double check, but I don't think they had vision on Dragthar. They don't want to risk that too much. Fook is able to make his way up. I don't think he has been seen on the Tri-Brush ward or anything, but he wants to make something happen. With Sora, he could definitely make something, could definitely convert if OP steps up too far.
OP has stepped up too far, but the Flame Chompers will give OP enough space just to flash out to safety. So want someone to spell down for the Cerberus bottom lane duo.
Yeah, a bit of a fun trade there. Sora can't actually get the real knock-up on the Grand Entrance, but he does interrupt the Spider-Man hook from Nautilus, and Yoshino is just taking a beating in this lane. And yeah, I mean, I have to say, he's gone for the completely wrong runes. You're up against a tank, just take Grasp of the Undying and smack him for health. You're not actually going to poke out a tank with your Aerie. Just accept that and beat him over the head with the funny green fist.
Maybe it's, more of a shield. Maybe that's a plan. Have a shield for your trades against
it doesn't shield you.
Does it not? I always thought if you hit someone, the Aerie goes to the target, does some damage, and then comes back to you as a shield.
No.
No?
It It's good. Okay, hold that. Before
Rono
I
P-
explain runes to
Rono
Loki.
P lands a good dredge line, but Pudding can't land a Blade Caller onto Rono P, so the Nautilus will just be able to walk out.
So how it works, and the way it works for things like, and why it works for things like Jarvan support, for example, is when you provide a spell, when you put a spell effect onto an ally, the Aerie goes and shields them.
Right.
If you do an effect on the enemy, a damaging effect, it goes and does a little bit of damage to the enemy. You cannot apply the Aerie shield to yourself. And even if you could,
Okay.
Yoshino doesn't have a way of shielding himself.
Right, I do have a follow-up question for that, but going to hold that. Fuquan gets a good stun through. Follow-up from Sora. Flashes over the wall. You don't want to go over there. The heal will just about keep Sora alive for long enough. That first blood is secured by the side of Team Flash. 2 for 1. Dragtha and Rono P both are falling. Team Flash win the fight, and Team Flash can now look for the Drake.
Yes, so close. Sora kind of flubbing it a little bit, but kept himself alive long enough, and that is a good start for the side of Team Flash, picking up that reset for the Viego. It's a huge engage from Sora, and I think he just wanted to flash over and deny the blast cone, maybe try and knock Artemis back, but realized he was in a bad position and then ended up hitting the blast cone in a unfortunate way. He does die, but it's still a positive trade for the side of Team Flash. He even survives long enough so he doesn't get first blooded. So everything goes hunky-dory for the Flashes.
Right, going back to Summon Aerie then, Molly. What happens if you Nami Surging Tide so you heal your ally and damage the enemy? Never mind, you can think about that.
First target hit.
Yoshino collapsed Dragthar. First target hit. Well, the first target hit right now by Yoshino is Dragthar. Boink, 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 the shield! Oh! Dragthar! He flashes at Yoshino's ult. I don't believe it. Jane though shows up. Yoshino will get a kill nonetheless. Yoshino will not be denied, and Team Flash will eventually get their third kill.
All right, it was almost completely amazing from the side of Fun, but Jane was there first. Jane out roaming the Talia, able to just convert it. So Dragthar getting super greedy, completely on a ward, and Yoshino does actually pay. This is a pretty risky play if he can't get onto Dragthar. And good flash from Dragthar, the all out to drag Yoshino away, but an even nicer re-engage from Jane. Flash scan of the week. Sets it up, and Yoshino still has a decent wave to return to. He loses a few minions, but hey, he gets a kill. Absolutely worth it. It was a high-risk play, but it more than pays off.
Hear me out here, Marby. I think Yoshino did a
Do you
little
need
bit
another
of a
rune
naughty...
explained to you?
No. I know
Okay.
all the runes now, Marby, okay? I even know how kleptomancy works. So
Who's gonna tell him?
I think Yoshino did a little naughty there by not letting Jane take the kill.
It's a bit unfortunate, but in the end it doesn't matter too much. Jane will still get the stacks for their passive, the dark shards, and so they still walk away pretty happy, and Yoshino can work towards his Sunfire Cape and maybe actually keep some pressure down, return some of the get some wave control back so you don't actually hemorrhage plates. That could have gone disastrously for Rono B if that hook was just a little bit long, but Jane walks away okay. Dragthar doesn't really, but can we get a look at Jane? I need to see how far along their passive is. I want to see how upgraded they are.
Now that you said that, Marby, we're never going to get the POV of Jane in the bottom left corner where you get to see...
Show me Jane.
Nope, that's Sora. Maybe third time is the charm. I reckon. It's going to go to Yardo first, and then it might go to Jane. Oh,
tragedy.
No.
Fuquan. No, okay.
We don't get to see anyone now. The Drake, though, is still up for the taking. I thought King Flash might have looked for that after they won that initial river fight, but still available for either team to secure.
Yeah, now it feels like this should be the objective now, especially with Rift. Maybe just try and get a couple of plates in. Maybe gonna try and split it 3 ways amongst Puddin, Jane, and Fuquan. So, yep, 3-way split on those plates. They shouldn't really stick around for for more. They're not going to break down another. So just take that tempo and move it into that dragon. And with the recall coming in from Wukong, it should just be a concession by the side of Cerberus. Just trying to scale up, make sure Artemis can hit those breakpoints, those 3 items he really needs to get online, and start impacting the fight. And I think Cerberus is just going to play it calm and collected until then, try and make sure they don't give up too much.
Well, the Drake secured, and while that play happened in the bottom side from the side of Team Flash, Yada was able just to push in the mid lane, was able to get a single tower play, but has been rather mana dependent as of late and is always running very low. Now does have a tier with nearly 200 stacks, has the Lost Chapter as well, and is just starting to become more of a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, you should probably not run out of stacks anymore from here. Pun not able to get the pull back, so can't roll out onto Yoshino, can't look for that solo kill. But he can push this wave in, try and get himself another plate. Just what? He's built that Barmy Cinder, so he can't actually walk up and hit the tower anymore. It's given him a lot more push in the sense that he's always under Yoshino's tower, but maybe he should have just gone for that Iceborne Gauntlet so he could actually farm these plates a little bit easier, because, yeah, it's unlucky. That plate is so low.
I wonder if Yoshino...
But that's why I'm bad.
I think when Pun was backing, I think Yoshino could just let the minions take it. It's one of the most frustrating things when you push a wave in, reset, then the wave gets the tower plate as you reset and you don't get any gold. Makes me cry every time.
Yeah, no, that's definitely an option he could have done. But as it is, it's working out just fine that he's keeping the wave at bay. Pun can't commit, can't collect it, so it's all fine. It's all fine. These top laners are just going to keep farming and returning to lane. Another plate is taken for Puddin, has had full control over the spot side. Fook has kind of just set up a little tent in this area. Hasn't committed to attacking the lane, but he is always on the spot side, always applying some pressure. And it's making Artemis a little bit nervous. He doesn't have any safety because he's got a Nautilus instead of a Thresh or instead of a Tahm Kench. Even a Braum would have been nice.
Oh,
here's the all-in
coming in from Sora. Forces the cleanse very quickly used by Artemis, but both summoners now down for the Cerberus ADC. Really quick thinking from Sora. And now with Fuquan and Jane making their way over, Artemis and Ron P might just have to back away from their tower.
Yeah, this is the downside of picking the Jinx into this duo. They can just jump on you, and next time they do that, it's going to rip you apart. The ultimate's coming through, but it seems to have been called out, so...
Oh, wait, Yada was making his way to look for a kill onto Yoshino. Yoshino is still alive. Out comes the Featherstorm. Not going to get the kill onto Ron P. Here comes Draxar, flash away from putting the Cyclone. Will be able to find the knockup and will be able to find the kill onto the Team Flash ADC.
Yeah, on the top side, they weren't able to kill Yoshino with that Weaver's Wall from Yada. Wasn't able to cut him off, but it's another wave. Hold that Draxar once more.
Looking towards Fuquan. I'm just trying to work out how Pudding took so much damage in that play, because did he go on the tower or something?
I think he was on Chompers, but we might have to wait until a replay. Jane not pushing to push out too far and really look for anything. So Flash and both teams sort of playing extremely cautious around certain things. Like you could have pushed in and tried to catch and try and find something onto the low health targets. It's actually just a good engage onto Ron OP, bounces them onto the traps as well, and so they just have to stand there and take the full brunt of Artemis, just shooting them in the head over and over again. It's not enough to kill them without the assistance of Draxar, but it is a good start for a Cerberus who are just a little bit behind. They're going to be a little bit more behind now with that first brick going over to Jane. But still, everything's coming okay for Flash.
Nice influx of gold then for Jane, and this series, and I feel this split, I have wanted to praise Pudding and Sora that in lane they felt like a good two-man bot. But then we do see mistakes like we saw from Pudding, overextending a few times, and there Pudding getting caught out by that engage when winning the lane that is just been costing them this split, I think, for Team Flash.
Yeah, it's we see the sparks of brilliance, especially in the team fights for Puddin, but still making small mistakes that are punished by the better teams, by the likes of Garm and Cerberus, and it does hurt them. It does keep them lower in the standings, but it's definitely something that can be worked on and signals a decent future for these players. Have to remember, it's the first full split for Puddin. It's close, but not quite. The buff's not quite enough for Jinx. Clearly needs more to the execute damages. Raphael's going to be dropped immediately.
I'm very glad Jinx ult on objectives did get nerfed because it was.
It did also just get buffed. Pun?
Oh, did it? Okay, Pun on the side. So is Drakthar, but Team Flash collapsing very well onto the Cerberus duo, and the rest of Cerberus aren't looking to follow. Never mind. Here comes Yado. Will cut Pudding and Jane away from the play. Pun able to get over the wall, and now the Drake being started up by the side of Cerberus. Team Flash secured the first Drake of the game. I don't know. There is an ultimate available for Sora if you wanted to go in, but Team Flash just going to give this one away to Cerberus.
Yeah, in the end, it's basically just mid lane Tara traded for the Dragon, which is by no means a bad trade for the side of Team Flash, especially since you already grabbed that first one. It is another Cantech Drake, so congratulations. It is no fun Drakes allowed day. At least so far. Maybe the next series or the next game will turn it around, but we will see.
Yeah. Once I'm casting with Yulwei, we're just going to get nothing but Hextech souls.
Oh, you would. You would. I cast on Thursday. I get 3 40-plus minute games. Then the next day, there's just 2 really nice and quick series. Now I get the Camtech Drakes. Ah, man.
I'm going to be honest, Marby. I absolutely love 40-minute games. I'd be very happy if I got the 40-minute game. So I will trade with you if you want.
You don't want 6 in a row. I'll just tell you that. It wasn't quite that bad, but it's all fine. These games have been longer on the newer patch. On average, MB versus Game 2 is an outlier and shall not be counted. But all in all, these games are still close. It's 1,000 gold at 18 minutes, which kind of doesn't mean a lot. And we have to sort of look at where it's landed. It's a little bit onto Jane, probably mostly onto Jane with that first Howl Blood and that extra kill, which is definitely not the worst place to have it, but it's not enough to really make it stick. There's some on Fu Quan, but it's balanced out by Pun. It's just a lot of running after each other in the bot lane. A rock,
and Yado has
a rock slinger, and a rock.
Okay, meanwhile, we've got another mid laner and top laner, but this time, the Team Flash mid laner has a jungler around as Pun does some weird Cassante magic and just disappears, as now Yoshino might be caught out, flashes away, but he has nothing else to escape from Cerberus, as Artemis will be donated this kill.
Okay, we figured it out. 4 is the magic number to kill the top laner.
2 might be the magic number to kill Pun. Oh, grand entrance sidestep by Pun, who leaves a very, very cheeky thumbs up.
What? See, I'm counting that as 3 because Jane was involved in the extended play in that lane. So we can absolutely confirm 3 is not enough. 4 is, and they're going to be trading towers. This is a huge up for the side of Cerberus as they pick up a kill, and it's an inner tower which is worth much more gold than the outer. So just Cerberus finding these small wins. It's now only down to 400 gold. So they basically just got 600 extra gold out of the play. Artemis now picking up the Phantom Dancer to help cut through Yoshino as the game goes on, but still with Kraken Slayer, this might have been the game where Gale Force might have been a decent pickup for Artemis just to try and stay a little bit safer against the dive, but wants to just shred and do as much damage as he can, has full confidence in himself.
We'll probably go towards that Infinity Edge third item and then presumably a Lord Dominic's Regard or a Guardian Angel just to have a bit more protection against the burst that Team Flash have at their disposal. But as you were mentioning, just 400 gold now separating the two teams as Fuquan just picks himself up a cluster of long swords. Pudding, though, is a little bit behind Artemis now, and this is what we I almost want to say this is what we saw in game 1, where it was quite even between the two ADCs. Then a couple of plays happen, and Artemis has a kill. Artemis has an item lead over Pudding.
Yeah, definitely a dramatically reduced version of it, but yeah, definitely still the same sort of story. Artemis sort of losing out a little bit in the early laning phase, as there's a good lane matchup, and Flash are able to put the pressure down with it. But some mistakes, some good team fights, and backroom rotations from the side of Cerberus are able to get Artemis ahead. And once he's ahead, he tends to stay there. Another tower will fall for the side of Cerberus. Now the gold is even. It's within 200 gold, and that is nothing. Baron is now finally an objective the teams have to worry about. There's a lot of Baron damage on both sides, so it's going to be interesting to see who wants to go for it and when.
And right now, just that little lull state as Team Flash trying to get some control in the river. It would be the second Drake for whichever team are able to secure it.
Yeah, I think with the pressure that's down, it should fall to the side of Team Flash, and I wouldn't expect Cerberus to commit super hard for it. Right now, we've got Pun pushing in the top lane, currently fighting a little bit with Yoshino, but control of the top side conceded. Cerberus not in a good position to respond with anything, so this will be free for the side of Team Flash. Okay, they make an attempt onto Yoshino, and with the quick rotation, they will actually end up trading it for a tower, so all in all, it's completely fine for Cerberus.
And we've been seeing a lot of these trades. Neither team really looking just to go all in against each other, if you'd pardon the pun, as Jane pushes in the mid lane. That's a nice scatter of the week on to Pun,
Oof.
who has to be a little bit careful because there is a lot of damage available to Jane on this Syndra. This might be Team Flash saying, look, we're going to trade a Drake for an inner tower, but we're going to get an inner tower ourselves. So overall, it's just us getting a Drake.
93 shards. So has all the abilities upgraded, does not have that execute on the ultimate just yet. Still needs
100 for that.
7 more, yep. So should be pretty quick. One more, a kill or so, a few more cannon minions. Should pick that up, and then of course you want that 120 for the extra, pretty much mini Rabadons coming on through with the 20% AP. I believe that's the number. Anyway, it's
I'll take your word
coming
for it.
up close. I don't remember the exact number, but it is more AP. I do know that bit. So Jane is getting pretty damn close to the mark where she will be pretty much at max power. Of course, items will still come online, but this Syndra is ready to Keck W skill diff for a bunch of people with that R button.
I mean, Team
so
Flash is
Yano
just the
might
Keck
want to
W.
move into a Yano might want to move into a Banshee's Veil third is what I'm saying.
I mean, Team Flash are the Keck W R button team with Yoshino having ult, Jane having ult as well. To be fair, it's just so maybe it's
Viego might as well be.
Yeah, actually, you raise a very good point. Baron is up for the taking. Cerberus just trying to push in the mid lane now. I doubt either team are really going to look towards the Nasher unless they can find a pick of some sort. Yado with a Weaver's Wall just to zone Team Flash away from the tower. Very good seismic shove. Forced to go and use the ultimate is Pudding. Stays alive, but the outer tower will not stay alive, and Cerberus will secure that objective.
Yeah, with the ultimate blown and the heal, Cerberus might feel tempted to just try and use the Baron to force another play. They've got good turn, they caught Fook.
Flash dredge line onto Fook. One flashes away out to safety. Drakthar forced to go golden. Team Flash on the retreat. Jane able to get the kill. Now flashes away himself to safety. The zap will not land. Sidesteps on the seismic shove, but Jane just doesn't have anyone else nearby. Still alive with a huge shield, but eventually will fall.
Oh, Pun!
Pun finds two. Yoshino on the run. Seismic shove pulls Yoshino back into the team, and Artemis makes it 3 for Cerberus.
Pun nearly found 4, putting the bot lane in a world of hurt, and that is a huge fight for Cerberus. They're going to try and turn it into the into the Baron, sorry, but they don't have a jungler. It should be fine. Puddin is far too low to even contest. this is Baron for Cerberus, and that is the thing that blows open the game, puts an actual advantage in. Nearly, I think that rocket actually did hit, but it didn't quite execute. Either way, it stopped Puddin's back, and that is just fun for Cerberus. They don't have many towers out of the base to to try and blow this gold lead open with this Baron, but they can break the inhibitor and create a huge pressure advantages. We look again, Fook gets out by the skin of his teeth, and a good Zhonya's to interrupt the ultimate, but Jane commits to it, and then it's just a really nice position from Pun to basically execute both of these players who got away on low health. And then he solos out the bot lane as Yoshino does his best, but is left to the mercy of the rest of Cerberus. Can't do anything there. Dragon is on the board. The waves aren't in a great position for Cerberus to push them in as a trade.
Looking for a play themselves. They're looking straight onto Artemis, and the cleanse will not keep the Jinx alive. What a pick from Team Flash. But is this the Pun v9 angle once again? Good dredge line onto Yoshino. Yoshino stays alive. Down goes 1OP. Big blade caller, and another falls from the members of Cerberus. Pun and Draktar on the run on half health. Sora gets caught up by a big seismic shove, forced to dash away out to safety. Will stay alive. Blade caller lands from Pudding, but Pudding won't get too over-eager. 2 kills then for the side of Cerberus, and they will be able to pick up their third Drake of the game.
Pun is doing the best he can, but without that Jinx, Cerberus just does not quite have the damage to cut through Team Flash. They may just continue to run into this issue where they just don't have the damage to win out a team fight. Artemis has to stay alive. He gets caught by the ultimate. He gets put into the bounce house and Jinx becomes him. Viego becomes him. Yes, that's the one. And from there, it's kind of like, okay, how are we meant to deal with our own Giga-fed Jinx on the enemy team? Simple, you kind of can't. So they lose the team fight. It's kind of a blessing they didn't lose any more than 2, but they lose the dragon for it. Again, it's not the most impactful soul, but it's kind of a soul you almost really, really desperately want as Cerberus, because you need as much defense for the Jinx as possible, and just the hope to remove that one-shot potential. That 50% reduced damage on when you're below 50% health may help a bunch.
Well, right now, Team Flash feel like they are still on the back foot, but with Yoshino's ultimate, with that Malphite art, there is the opportunity for Team Flash to be able to find these avenues to beat Cerberus. As we saw, if you can find a way onto Artemis, cleanse doesn't help you when you are knocked up. You can only cleanse Flash, and Artemis does have his Flash available, so could potentially use that for another fight. Baron no longer available for Cerberus, and Team Flash will just collect these waves.
Yeah, kind of have to flash the Malphite ultimate to try to get anything done as Cerberus. Or you have to try and force Yoshino to use it early. That's a good start, using the Weaver's Wall, but the wave is not big enough to really convert that into a tower. And Cerberus are just sort of meandering around. They weren't able to put that Baron to use because they went for that. They got caught out in the mid lane. They didn't even break open that mid lane tower, so it's just a wasted Baron. Didn't get them anything.
And good stuff then from Team Flash to keep themselves in this game. The next Drake, a Chemtech Soul, could be very big for Flash. And again, we talked about the shields that are available for the likes of Sora on this Rakan. But Cerberus, though, we can't underestimate how strong they are. They do still have a goal lead. They do still have a 3, nearly 4 item Jinx. Yado has 3 items now on this Talia, but Jane almost has that Rabadon's Death Cap. We've seen the amount of work Jane can do on this Syndra, and with a Rabadon's Death Cap, can pretty much blow any member of Cerberus up to smithereens.
Yeah. And by this point, definitely has enough shards to get that ultimate execute. Anyone below 15% health will pop instantly, so this could spell bad news for Pun if he ever goes all out with Jane still having ultimate in hand. Because you don't want to lose half your health and all your resistances in front of Jane, who will put you down very quickly. Cerberus just trying their best, trying to control the waves, trying to make sure when this Baron comes up they have prime position. But they can't really push into the jungle effectively to get this down, get anything happening. They're not playing off multiple waves. They're just trying to force mid. They can cheat it a little bit with their Sweeper's Wall when it spawns, but they're just trying to bait something. But Flash are not taking it.
Cerberus do like this little death brush. We saw them using it around the first Baron, pretending that they had gone to Baron when they just waited in the brush, and then they instantly turned on to Fook 1. It was a fight that Team Flash had almost been able to win. Jane picking up the first kill of the fight, but just getting caught on the back end, and Pun pulling out a Pun v9 performance. We like to make these little pet names for some of our top laners in the VCS. We've got our Emperor, we've got the hero plays as well, and Pun v9. And Pun has been playing so well this series, but he's going to have to step up once again. The Baron started by the side of Team Flash, and Cerberus are making their way over. Team Flash will back away, and you can see Sora just waiting, trying to find that big flank angle, because if he can find a charm, Pudding though knocked into Yardo, almost gets hit by the seismic shove, and now that's a defensive tool no longer available for the Team Flash ADC. Pun may be stepping a bit too far forward, has a blast cone that will take him over the wall, but in comes the engagement. Pudding is nowhere around. Nowhere is Team Flash. This is just a 2v5. Artemis gets the first kill and now is excited. Bounced around is Pudding. A shutdown for Artemis, and Team Flash just in absolute misery. That was a terrible start to the fight, and Cerberus completely punished Flash. A third kill for Cerberus, and Jane and Yoshino are on the run.
And now Giannis teleporting to the top lane. They have a wave. They're going to try and crash this in. They might even try to end. It's only Jane and Yoshino up. Yoshino was trying to cut the wave. Pun could not stop Jane from recalling, but this is it. They're going to crash in. They have so much tower damage with Jinx. 3 seconds on Viego. Let's see if they can end.
10 seconds for Pudding and Asura. How long can Yoshino protect Jane?
Oh, no,
the final Nexus tower is falling, and 4 members of Cerberus are just going to absolutely beat down on the Nexus. Cerberus take the 2-0 against Team Flash and cement their place second in the VCS Spring Split standings.